Welcome to Table Tennis Philosophy. Today we're going to talk about YouTube videos. There are a ton of YouTube videos out there about table tennis, and you're looking at one, and maybe you've looked at several. So the question is, how useful are these as far as your training? What can you learn from them? And can they be overused? And what place do they really have in your development as a table tennis player? First of all, it's great that we have all this information. It's a ton of information out there. Most of it's really, really good. The big problem usually is sorting through it and figuring out how it applies to your particular game. And some of the stuff that I do tries to sort out some of that information. But if you want to find a video that shows you how to do a forehand loop, a backhand block, how to chop, how to serve, there's tons of information out there, and most of it's put out there by qualified table tennis coaches who have some good insights and have taught these things and know the correct strokes. So in that way, it's really, really good. It's really obvious also that you can't learn table tennis strictly from YouTube videos, and they can be misused. I just recently put out a video about table tennis robots and how there's some pluses and minuses to those too. So I think it should be obvious to anybody that you're not going to, just because you see a video and it shows you how to do a stroke correctly does not mean that you'll be able to do it. It's really helpful to have a coach to look at you doing those things and evaluate, because you're probably not going to really know what you look like, unless of course you do a video of yourself, and that might be helpful. But these videos do have a really good place in table tennis. If you're watching the world champion play, that's one way to look at what the best players in the world are doing, get some idea of what the trends are there. But if I think one of the best things about the YouTube videos is if you can watch players play, or have videos like this where somebody's talking about table tennis, where it can spark your imagination, it can make you think about your game. And that's a mark that of all the good players I know, that they really think about their game. They don't just think about it when they're playing or the day that they play. They're thinking about it at work, or they're thinking about it when they fall asleep. You know that they're putting some thought into it, because their game evolves, it develops. Sometimes they go down some paths that aren't helpful, but they're continuing to strive to move forward to develop their game. And this is where these videos can help. I used to watch a certain player over and over because I was trying to play in a similar manner to the way that Johnny Wong did. And one of the things I learned eventually is that I'm not him. My style is not going to be exactly like his. I wouldn't try to copy any player exactly. In the end, I took a small part of his style, combined with several other styles, combined with my own personality to come up with my own unique style of play. And in that way, I think as long as you don't try to copy some player exactly, then watching those videos of top players can be really, really good. One of the ways where table tennis videos could be misused, and is where you got to be careful, especially as a beginner. I've had players come in, and I'm, watching them attempt their forehand loop, and they're starting their stroke down around their ankle. And the number of times I've asked them, have you been watching Brian Pace videos? And they're like, hey, how'd you know? I was like, well, he's got some great videos about forehand loops, but let me tell you a secret about that. If you're intending to start your stroke down around your ankle, you're gonna have to bend your knees and your legs just as much as he does. And that might take a lot of training, and you can't start that stroke at that point if you're just bending over at the waist. It creates a really ridiculous looking forehand loop, but I've seen it and I've recognized it coming in the door. This is not anything against Brian Pace. He's got an obviously great forehand loop, but it's not the forehand loop that somebody is going to be able to have if they've just started learning how to play, if they're not in good physical shape, and if they're only training once a week. That's a different person, and but you could learn a lot from his videos, and you could learn a lot from watching how he loops and what his approach is. But just like I said, like I couldn't be Johnny Wong, you won't be Brian Pace, and you won't be Ma Long or any other player either. So there's lots of things you can learn. There's instructional videos. There's videos like this that are just to make you think about the game, try to put some things together. There are videos of top players, maybe players you think you could learn something from. I found that I learn I've found watching some of the female players to be helpful in that my game is not an all-out offensive game, and I do a lot of blocking, chopping, and counter-driving, which is more typical of the way females play a lot. But it's not that men can't play that way, but sometimes you find some very creative ways of playing with all kinds of different players from all over the world, men, women, and you can also benefit a lot from the coaching videos. So I wouldn't try to turn into the greatest table tennis player in the world purely by watching YouTube videos, but I think they do have a place, and they can be helpful. And just like I said, probably with a robot shouldn't be more than 10% of your training. I think YouTube videos need to be part of it, not the main part of it, but they can really help you out, help you spark some good thoughts about table tennis, and help with your development, particularly if you don't have access to a coach all the time. But a good mix of watching some videos, a little bit of robot training, competition, and some training with a good coach. Put that together as best you can, and you're along with probably practicing serves, and you'll be have a good formula for improvement that's going to include watching some YouTube videos. All right, thanks. I welcome your comments. Thank you very much.